And with this, Castlevania 3 Dracula's Curse begins. So let's just start it. It's the third game in a long franchise of Castlevania games. So let's just do some. And first game I explicitly know to be a prequel to anything as a game. So let's just count him. Trevor. Yeah, Trevor Belmont. The patriarch of the Belmont family, and this is a prequel to both Castlevania 1 and 2, which starred Simon Belmont 100 years later. This is the first time in history that, at least in the continuity of classical Castlevania franchise, that Dracula went crazy. Then the later storylines have a bit expanded about why he did it, and they very good, or better say, you might say surprisingly good, anime adaptation by Netflix is based on this game, although its plot uses material from Symphony of the Night as well, which does expand it as well. But generally, it starts from this and expands further, and I really recommend to watch it. But the game, this is the third, and I don't think there's actually no, there's more of the classic Castlevania continuity than these three, but it took quite a long time for them to actually get back to the understand this, what would be the continuity. Konami has always been, or better say, with Castlevania, Konami has always been a bit of uncaring about continuity and order of the game, or better say, not completely, but quite uncaring about how the game goes. But the general gameplay is still the same. Member of the Belmont clan has no jump physics. He jumps, he uses the vampire killer whip, and he kills all kinds of creatures of darkness. And the first stage is just a quite simple introduction of elements which you can expect to see that in this game, and it does not even begin in Castlevania itself, where the horrifying Count Dracula lives, or lurks, or is, how to say. And this is also, to me, personally, the first Castlevania game I've ever played. So what to say is that this game has fond memories to me, and when you play this on the Castlevania Anniversary Collection, which you can say is quite good bang for your buck, seeing how much games it is and how challenging these classic Castlevania games are, not only because of occasionally very clunky control, which they also have very faithfully reproduced clunky control, which I think is not a good thing to reproduce. And of course, Belmont clan or family has habit of eating wall meat, and that must have been the first time ever that the delicious meaty taste of wall meat was introduced to them. And of course, well, when the first level already introduces the infamous hunchbacks, or how you wanna call them, you know, game is not gonna be being really friendly with you, and this game certainly is not friendly, and it sounds really good for the NES game. And yeah, but generally it follows the basic convention of Castlevania games, like the fact that once you pick a special weapon, that's it. You're gonna keep wearing that. And the boss, a skeleton warrior. He walks around, swings me with a sword, and dies. And of course, at the end of the level, you can pick the orb, which leaves all the count scores and all that things. And of course, the anniversary correction gives you a real good chance of saves coming, which is quite recommended, seeing how difficult it is. And interestingly, game gives you multiple paths. I could go either to the swampy foresty area or to the clock tower. and I head to the clock tower because I intend to do something which I haven't seen quite much to be done by people who have played this game and commentated on it. They've usually well, it's gonna be shown that I'm feigning some sort of surprise element to the business at hand, and yeah, the stopwatch. The most, you could say, understandable or badly understandable power-up in Castlevania franchise, but then again, it should stop enemies or slow them down, which it quite often does, but it's usually something that it really doesn't do what it should be doing to those you really want you to do it. And this stage and clock tower mostly scrolls up, meaning of course you can scroll yourself in a bottomless pit behind you. So yeah, bottomless pits, death traps are common in this. And there's an interesting thing, because when you normally go and you hit a strike button, whatever you map it, Trevor just does a one swing and he doesn't have any power-ups charge. But if you are standing on these stairs doing the massive power walk, you can just hold the strike button and Trevor will smack as fast as he can. And of course he's gonna throw some napalm water down here, which is, well, it's got a clunky range, but it's very capable of dishing out a shitload of damage to enemies. Very powerful attack. And say hello to their pendulums, with very crude 8-bit animations, but still they provide all the necessary information. So yeah, Konami was really ambitious doing this, and that was the tutorializing about what the pendulums does, and this is the real deal. Now you have to jump again, do some platforming again. Yep, and in contrast to the Castlevania 1, in which also had clock tower stage, but it was right at the end, this one, well, it's right, it's second stage if you choose to, and it has moving, not only moving platforms, but moving backgrounds as well. It's hard to say that technical hurdles forward in about 3 years. First Castlevania came out in 1987, which means this game franchise is 6 years younger than I am. Yeah, I'm that old. And this came out 1990, and Simon's Quest Castlevania 2 had, which was vastly different in game-based stylings, in the sense that it did not make the gameplay of platforming and maneuvering around enemies and enemies hitting like a ton of sack of bricks being dropped on your head level of difficulty. It did not get its difficulty at that. It got its difficulty from completely obscure, that what the hell you're supposed to be doing difficulty. And it's and you could say that that's the, well, first instance of so-called Metroidvania genre, because, well, it's interesting to know that when some sort of newly established game appears, games which use similar styling tend to be called clones of it. What I remember most freshest is of course Doom clones. But when it's a matter of Metroidvania styling games like Metroid or Castlevania, some Castlevania games, this is in the, you could say, in the midway of that style. Occasionally I might be go quiet, because the platforming in this game is quite of... You are committed to the jump, so you better time it well, and luckily you can't be knocked out from the stairs, because if you were, this game would be really brutal. Yeah. Now this is gonna be a bit of difficult jump. Oh yeah, jump like this, jump like this. Oh yeah, getting forward. And I'm already approaching at the top. These stages are much tenser than they appear. They aren't that particularly long, because this game does follow the basic platforming and stages structure of the first Castlevania. That second one didn't, except with very small amount. But let's just see. The boss of the clock tower, some sort of monkey man. But it goes down with a holy water fast. Oh yeah, it got one attack. It didn't even get to show its special ability of running around the walls. But something unexpected happens. Oh yeah, that's the characterization of Grand Dynasty. I could drop him, but I will take him along. And a friendly shake hand. And this is the only time in the whole Castlevania franchise that Grand Dynasty has been a playable character. Even this, you don't, you have to. Oh, but the bridge to the Castlevania was collapsed, so I can't get through here. So I have to walk back. But this time I have a Grant in my groove, so I can just press select in original NES and whatever button you assign in this one, and Grant can cling on walls. Yeah, he can do impressive things. So yeah, and he platforms. Oh yeah, Trevor platforms as well, but Grant is the master of it. So time to fall down, and because now I'm going down, I can go real much faster. I can just almost drop down from everywhere. But if it's a matter of fighting, Grant is not much of use, because well, he's got all this. Oh yeah, now that was death. Grant has risk of dying. Well, my pure navigational skills. Ooh, yep. Drop like this. Speedrun. Oh yeah, Grant has only this short, stubby dagger he can use as a weapon. Which, and he has also quite limited amount of special weapon he uses as well. But though that little limitations are quite much of secondary nature when it's a matter of his sheer insane amount of mobility. And yeah, 1-up. Oh yeah, there's no other way for you to get that unless you have Grant. And so yeah, the game has 3 special characters. One of them or we'll say this kind of 8 characters, however you wanna call it. And well, 2 of them. One of them has appeared a lot in Castlevania games as well, or we'll say has appeared more in Castlevania games. I'd say he has been protagonist more than ever, because well, he's been protagonist in solo game and DLC of one game. But Grant has not appeared at all, and I'm once again referring to the Netflix adaptation in which Grand Dynasty does not appear at all, unlike the other 2 characters, which is to say Alucard, son of Dracula, and Sifa Belnades, a powerful sorceress. And Trevor's love interest in the story as well. And I do recommend that anime again, written by Grant Ellis. Or was it Warren Ellis? Well, any case, a good writer, established, written lots of comic books, which are not always, you could say, the most easy things to write outright. So yeah, and well, I'm now wielding Trevor with his vampire killer. Oh yeah, and this must be the first time in the Castlevania main series that level consists of previous stage but backwards. I'm gonna just tank through all these hits. Well, oh yeah, but I get through. Impressive sound. Getting through. And of course, the concept of this game could be much better. So I have to go through the forest area again. Of course, by four, game forces me to go through it, but not all of it. Only just a part of it. And the eagles appear in this stage. And say hello to the vampire killer, the cross boomerang. And if somebody would say, yes, you can make a boomerang which is shaped like a cross. It wouldn't be too easy to, you know, craft. You would have to be, it would take quite clever shaping, but you can make it. And the music is damn good. This game brought lots of real awesome tunes to Castlevania series. So you could say about the extra weapons, which is to say dagger, axe, clock, dagger, axe, clock, and then there's the boomerangs and napalm water. And it's easy to say that which is the best. Daggers are the worst of them. And this game also has this kind of little annoying quirk in specific places, that in ducking is quite much useless ability by Trevor, but Grant can duck well enough. And he also has, because of his stubbier weapon, has bit faster rate of attacking, so you could say that from the 3 8 characters of the game, 2 are of utility, which is to say mobility things, and 1 is for the, you could say, practical combat use. So let's just go this route, which I think to be the shorter route. Which of course will bring me closer to the actual, because this game, if you would not go to the clock tower, you would eventually meet one of the 8s, no matter what the route you would take. But it would vary that would it be Cypher or Alucard. And Grant is you could say kind of hidden, but if you go the, you could say, wrong route, you're gonna meet him as well. And of course Grant takes hits worse than Trevor does. But I can say that in the long run, Grant is, I'd say, well, depends on how good you are at the game. If you are really good at playing this game, Cypher is really good, and as the Alucard yet had not been established as a extremely powerful, capable of all kinds of vampire powers, abilities, or except he does have 2 of them, but it's just that they are really weak in comparison, meaning that he has the Dracula's infamous triple fireball ability, and he has the triple fireball and transforming the vampire into bat. So yeah, and another boss, the Cyclops. I couldn't normally jump over him, but with Grant I can. It would normally be quite impossible to avoid being hit in this fight. But with Grant's superior mobility, I can avoid him. So let's just bring out Trevor, just because I need to take him down eventually. So there's quite lots of this kind of shifting. Oh yeah, and yeah, they're one-eyed. Bait him to smack with his bludgeon, and he dies. Oh yeah, another change. Oh yeah, actually she would be more like in the net. Oh yeah, that would be something that, yeah, oh yeah, now you will get Cypher is the basic. And they didn't establish that Cypher is a woman. Trevor's love interest, because Trevor is not gay. So leave her behind. Nope, I don't need you. Because I'm gonna be, yeah. Cypher's gameplay, mobility-wise, worst, but attack-wise, she has a whole complete set of different sub-weapons which are immensely powerful. And here's the ghost ship. And with this stage, and like this, I have already locked myself into this, you could say, party for the rest of the game. So it's time to end this first episode and continue next time. See ya!